Something snapped in the housing market this year, and it wasn't the foundation of your house. It was the quiet realization that your home, the place you sleep, the place you eat, the place you raise your kids, has become one of the government's favorite tools for balancing the books. Now, if you've been looking at your property taxes or your insurance renewal or your home's so-called value and felt your stomach drop, you're not imagining it. Something is off, because while your paycheck hasn't doubled, your assessments did. And while home prices are slipping, your carrying costs aren't. And while millions of families are tightening their belts, the system keeps finding new ways to make your house do all the heavy lifting. And here's why this should matter to all of us, and why we all need to stick together on this today, because realistically, we all could save thousands. Data suggests that the United States housing market is now functioning as a quiet tax engine, a mechanism that extracts more revenue from homeowners every time prices rise, fall, or simply even move sideways. And the numbers indicate that this isn't a theory. It's happening right now in your neighborhood, on your street. And here's the truth, right? Because your home doesn't just shelter your family. It props up federal, state, and county revenue streams through property taxes, transfer fees, capital gains thresholds, mortgage interest, and insurance structures that track inflation, not actual affordability. So Treasury officials recently noted the United States GDP to grow faster than the national debt. Now, historically, that's been achieved by inflating asset prices, especially real estate, because rising home values expand the local and federal tax base without raising tax rates, right? It's like watching someone bake a cake by turning up the oven instead of mixing proper ingredients. The outside looks cooked, the inside stays raw, and the whole thing collapses the moment you cut into it. Now, for homeowners, asset inflation looks like winning on paper, but financial filings show the other side. Higher assessments, higher property taxes, higher insurance, higher closing fees, even higher capital gains exposure. And even when your income stays flat, this stuff is all occurring. So if we take Miami-Dade County, a home bought for $1.1 million in 2018 sells for roughly $2.1 million today. The county tax revenue doesn't just rise, it actually doubles. Now, property taxes jump from about $17,000 to nearly $40,000. The county wins, but the new owner, they're stepping onto a treadmill that speeds up faster every year. And that treadmill is speeding up everywhere. Recent foreclosure data shows filings rose 20% year over year, with 8 straight months of increases. And analysts note foreclosures are concentrated in FHA borrowers, the group with the thinnest financial cushion. It mirrors the 1970s. Home values soared, property taxes tripled, and families lost their homes not because prices fell, but because taxes and interest just crushed them. Now think of it like filling a bathtub, but the tub is debt. And every time prices rise, the water level jumps even faster. And your income, that's the faucet drip trying to keep up. And here's something most people don't even realize. Even when values fall, counties can still reassess upward based on previous sales. That keeps the tax base high regardless of market weakness. It's why home prices can drop 15% while your tax bill rises 8%. And then insurance is the other pressure point. Nationwide, premiums are up almost 50%, and that's in 5 years. And in coastal markets, some families now pay more for insurance today than for their entire mortgage in 2012. Now, Zillow reports this. The average hidden cost of homeownership has hit $16,000 a year, beyond your mortgage, taxes, maintenance, insurance. And in markets like Miami or parts of California, $20,000 to $30,000 a year is becoming normal. It's like buying a car, then paying luxury car maintenance on a used Honda every year. So why does the system behave this way? Well, because mortgage exposure is one of the largest financial assets in the United States economy. When home prices inflate, mortgages inflate. When mortgages inflate, interest payments inflate. And those inflows support government borrowing, mortgage-backed securities, and institutional portfolios. They all go up too. Your house becomes collateral for the mortgage that feeds the interest, that feeds the bond markets, that feeds national debt instruments. You're not just paying for your own home. You're participating in a national balancing act. This is also why distressed sales get scooped up by investors before even hitting the MLS. Not because the investors are the villains, but because institutional incentives reward early buyers of discounted collateral. And here's another truth the numbers make painfully clear. Nearly 900,000, almost 1 million homeowners are now underwater, and 90% of them bought in the last 3.5 years. And that's not a coincidence. That's market psychology meeting systemic incentives. So you can, what is it that we can all actually do? Challenge your tax assessment every single year? You can. Data suggests most homeowners never actually try. Do you max out your homestead protections? Avoid buying a price that only works in best case scenario math? Keep your emergency reserves intact, I think is really the point, right? And if you're in the market to buy, don't just evaluate the mortgage, evaluate the carrying costs, the continue rising even when home values fall. Because if this is what the numbers show right now, imagine what happens when the next round of assessments actually land. And we're entering a phase right now where carrying costs, not home prices, become the real story. And this is something we're going to be diving even deeper into in the future, right? Because we have to talk about how home builders, lenders, and counties have quietly aligned their incentives and why that alignment affects every buyer walking into this 2025 housing market. All right, guys, do I have this all right? Do I have it all wrong? Please put in the comment section below. And I'll look forward to, of course, reading and replying to all of your guys' comments. And I want to thank you guys again so much for watching me here on The Baseline. Okay, cheers, everybody.